What's happening, boxing world, YouTube? I am your host, Nice, and welcome to the Fight Room. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you do for the latest boxing news, feedback, and entertainment. Now we're gonna talk Gary Russell Jr. Mr. Gary Russell Jr. has a fight Saturday, January 22nd on Showtime against Mark Magsayo, the Magnifico, they call him. Now let's talk. This bout is for the WBC Featherweight title. Now we know the champion is Mr. Gary Russell Jr., a southpaw, fast hands, good fighter. Only has one loss and is to Lomachenko, 31 wins, 1 defeat, 18 by knockout. And he has stated quite often that he wants to avenge that defeat down the road. So let's see if he can get past Mark Magsayo, El Magnifico. Now, Mark Magsayo, 23 wins, no losses, ladies and gentlemen, undefeated, 16 by knockout. He is under the tutelage of Freddie Roach. Now, I have to add this. He's 5'6", orthodox fighter from the Philippines. And I have to add this here. They are comparing him to the one and only Manny Pacquiao. And I have to add and say this. He does have that style. He reminds me of Manny Pacquiao. Now, why I say? He throws awkward punches. And you can see that in some of his bouts. And he's pretty quick, pretty fast. Good footwork like Pacquiao. Quick like Pacquiao. Packs power. And he's pretty good fighting off the ropes as well. Pretty good defense. Though, he can get caught quite often. Now, he fought his last bout was with a fighter named Julio Cesar. I don't know if you guys caught that bout, but it was a good fight on PBC. And, that fight was toe-to-toe action. First, second round, Magsayo came in hard. And then Cesar was somewhat, controlling the bout, but not for nothing. PBC was kind of biased throughout that fight. And if you really see carefully, Cesar was doing quite well, hitting to the body or whatnot and putting some pressure on Magsayo. But Magsayo pulled off the win with a KO, a vicious right-hand KO in the 10th round. But I have to say this, he did get dropped in the 5th round. Magsayo got dropped in the 5th round, managed to pick himself up and carry on and win the bout by a devastating knockout. Now, he does pack power, like I said, and definitely reminds me of Pacquiao. Not for nothing. So he is undefeated, 23 wins, 16 knockouts, like I stated. And Gary Russell, he's a good fighter. Quick hands. One of the best, of course. But this is the problem with Mr. Gary Russell Jr. We all know he only fights like he does fight once a year. All right. Now, this is the thing. He didn't fight in 2021. He hadn't had no bouts. His last fight was February 8th of 2020 against Nyambayar. And I'm pretty sure you guys caught that bout as I did. And, he did okay in that bout. Nyambayar came a little tougher than I expected. And I believe Russell felt the same way. I believe that. But, after that, took a whole year off. Now he's back, 2022, against a tough fighter. So it's a vicious test for him coming off a long layoff. So with that being said, we know, Gary Russell is the shorter fighter. He's the southpaw. And he's quick, though. He's a good fighter. He packs power. And it's going to be a good matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm being honest with you. It's going to be a good fight. And this is what I think. I think that Gary Russell, he is going to pull it off, I believe. But you cannot count out Magsayo. Undefeated, fast, power, quick, awkward. Is it going to be tough for Gary Russell Jr.? Absolutely. I guarantee it. And if he pulls away with a good victory and outsmarts Magsayo and makes him look like a average type fighter, then I have to give Mr. Gary Russell tons of credit. Now, and vice versa, I would have to give all respect to Magsayo if he can pull off this win. And then imagine if he can knock out Mr. Gary Russell Jr., because he does pack power. But I doubt it, because Gary Russell can take a punch. He has been tested with Lomachenko. Lomachenko gave him tons of good hits. And, even though, Lomachenko is not a hard puncher, but, with this being said, good matchup, January 22nd. Don't miss it. Showtime. Gary Russell, WBC Featherweight title against Mark Magsayo. Don't miss it. You already know I am your host, Nice. Who's going to win this matchup? Knockout, decision, or an upset? Let me know what you guys think. I am your host, Nice. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Most of all, don't forget to share the Fight Room.